Today, we're going to discover the fascinating world of Sir William Blackstone and his writings on the law. Don't worry, it's not as intimidating as it sounds. Blackstone was a wise old fellow who lived a long time ago and had some pretty cool ideas about the law. So, let's break it all down in a way that even a high school senior can understand. First things first, who was this Blackstone guy? Well, he was an English judge and legal scholar who lived way back in the 18th century. He wrote a famous book called Commentaries on the Laws of England, and it became a super big deal in the world of law and justice. Now, let's dive into the main ideas from Blackstone's writings. One of the key things he talked about was the idea of laws being like big old rules that everyone in society has to follow. Imagine you and your friends playing a game, and you all agree to follow the same set of rules to keep things fair. That's kind of how laws work in a society. Blackstone said that laws are there to keep order and make sure everyone knows what they can and can't do. They're like the boundaries that help us live peacefully and respectfully with one another. Without laws, things could get pretty chaotic, right? But here's where Blackstone's ideas get really interesting. He believed in something called natural law. Now, don't let the name confuse you. It's not about laws of nature like gravity or the seasons. It's about a set of basic rights and principles that he thought were inherent to all human beings. Picture it like this. Imagine you and your friends are on a desert island, starting a new society from scratch. You'd all want to be treated with respect and have certain freedoms, right? That's the idea behind natural law. These are rights that we should all have simply because we're human. According to Blackstone, some of these natural rights include the right to life, liberty, and property. It means that every person should have the right to live their life, be free to make their own choices, as long as they don't hurt others, and own stuff like land or possessions. Now, here's where things get a bit more complicated. In Blackstone's time, there were different types of laws, some made by people, like the government, and some believed to come from a higher power, like religious laws. He called these human laws and divine laws. Human laws are created by people, like when your school or local government makes rules for everyone to follow. These laws are essential because they help create order and fairness in society. But Blackstone also said that human laws should be based on natural law, those basic rights we talked about earlier. In other words, human laws should never go against the natural rights of individuals. Now, let's talk about divine laws. These were seen as laws coming from religious beliefs, like the Ten Commandments in Christianity. Blackstone respected divine laws, but he believed they were more about guiding individuals in their spiritual lives and morals. When it came to running a society, he thought human laws should take precedence. Another crucial idea in Blackstone's writings is about how we interpret and apply the law. He said that we need judges and courts to make sure laws are applied fairly and justly. Think of judges as referees in the game of law. They make sure everyone plays by the rules. But here's the catch. Blackstone believed that judges should focus on the letter of the law, not their personal feelings or opinions. They should follow the law as it's written and not make up new rules on the spot. This way, the law stays consistent and fair for everyone. Now, let's explore the concept of property in Blackstone's writings. He considered property rights to be a fundamental part of a fair and functioning society. Remember those natural rights we talked about? Well, the right to property is one of them. Blackstone thought that everyone should have the right to own and control things like land, houses, and possessions. When people can own property, it motivates them to work hard and take care of what they have. It's like having your own special space where you feel secure and in charge. Plus, owning property helps create a stable and prosperous society. When people invest time and effort in improving their property, it benefits everyone around them. But of course, there are some limitations. Blackstone believed that property rights shouldn't be absolute. They should be balanced with the needs of the community. For example, if your neighbor's house is on fire, you can't just stand there and say, well, it's their property, not my problem. We have to be good neighbors and help each other when it matters. Now, let's talk a bit about the different branches of law that Blackstone covered. He talked about criminal law, which deals with crimes and punishments. When someone breaks the rules and does something really wrong, criminal law steps in to make sure they're held accountable. Then there's civil law, which handles disputes between individuals or groups. Imagine you and your friend have an argument over who owns a cool bike you found in the park. Civil law would come into play to figure out who gets to keep the bike and resolve the issue peacefully. Blackstone also touched on constitutional law, which is all about the rules and principles that govern a country or state. It's like the foundation that shapes how the government works and what rights and freedoms the people have. Now, you might be wondering why Blackstone's writings are still essential today. Well, his ideas had a massive influence on the legal systems of many countries, including the United States. The founders of the U.S. looked to Blackstone's work when crafting the Constitution and shaping the laws of their new nation. In fact, you can still see echoes of Blackstone's ideas in how the U.S. legal system and government operate today. The idea of natural rights, the importance of property, and the need for fair and just laws all stem from his groundbreaking work. So, to sum it all up, Sir William Blackstone was a legal genius who talked about the importance of laws, natural rights, and the right to property. He believed in creating a fair and just society where everyone's rights were protected. His ideas had a profound impact on legal systems around the world and continue to shape how we understand and interpret the law today. I hope this journey into Blackstone's writings has been enlightening and not too overwhelming. Understanding the law and the ideas behind it can help us become better citizens and contribute to a more just and equitable society.